everybody. It's Thursday afternoon, and this is the Thursday afternoon tune-up. I am Diane Spadola, and this is episode number 58. This video series is brought to you by Accelerate Your Success, the business booster program for artists and entertainers. Jump on over to Facebook when I'm done with this video and join my free Facebook group by the same name, Accelerate Your Success. Think of this video as your information and inspirational pit stop before the race, which is your busy weekend. So today I want to go on to talk about the other parts of the marketing system, which we started last week. This is going to be eventually a 6-part series on the marketing system or your marketing system. So if you missed last week's video where we started with marketing strategy and taking control of your customer's journey, those were the first 2 steps. And we have 4 more. So today we're going to talk about the third component of your marketing system, and that is content. And I'm sure everybody has talked to you ad nauseum about content, but I want to make sure that you're aware of what content is, because it doesn't need to be fancy or sophisticated or difficult or live video feeds, okay, or a podcast, or no, what else? A long article presented on LinkedIn, or a free webinar, or a paid webinar, or free downloads. Although all of those things are content. And then there's some other ones too. There's some really easy ones. And the important thing I want you to think of while I'm reading you this list is these are not things where you're selling, so to speak, or where you're promoting your business. They're actually places where you're sharing your expertise, where you're becoming the expert, and you're proving to your customers that you know more about your subject matter than anybody else that they know. And as face painters, balloon twisters, caricature artists, or even magicians, I can guarantee that you know more about your subject matter than the vast majority of the universe, and certainly more than the people that you know. So, content is something that's way bigger than a blog post, although it can be a blog post or it could be your entire website if your website is designed to answer the questions of your prospect or customer. Starting with a blog or a monthly newsletter to the people whose email addresses you have is a wonderful way of sharing content, but you can't be selling in that newsletter. All right. You can say what your company is and what you do, and maybe you can even describe your ideal client. But if you are coming out in social media or your blog or your monthly newsletter or even a podcast, and all you're doing is promoting yourself, you're going to lose the people that could be your listeners and fans. So some of the other things that you can do include holiday cards, check-in emails are content. Those are the little emails that you send to past clients just to say, hey, it's been a long time since we've been in touch. How you doing? Do you remember the fun time we had at your party last year? Well, I'm wondering if you need any help this year. Or you could even do things like ask how the 2-year-old is when you had done their 1-year-old birthday party. All right. You can ask about the family. You can, any connection that you have with a customer is something that you can talk about in a check-in email. Articles, both things that you've written, but also sharing articles that have been written by other people. I hope that these videos and everything else that I share in my Facebook group that you share with other people, or at least invite them to join the group so they can get at the content themselves. Okay? That's how I kind of spread my expertise out. And I hope that then people will come to me to learn more about marketing and business development. You can do a presentation. You can do a newsletter. You could write a book, because everybody seems to be doing that these days. Having a webinar, a free download, that's just a little gift. And one of the things that I offer to my clients is a questionnaire that they can use to take notes as they're calling other artists. Now, why would I want to provide them with something that enables them to call other artists? Because if I lead them to the place where I am the best person for their job, their gig, their event, because they want the same things that I provide, because I've educated them as to what I provide and what they should be looking for in a good entertainer. If I've done all that for them, then naturally they're going to see me as a likable expert, and they're going to be more likely to give me the business. So I provide them, I equip them with the tools that they need to make all their phone calls. I give them 10 questions that they need to ask a party entertainer. I give them a note-taking form that matches those 10 questions so that they can write the answers down on that note-taking form. They don't have to give it back to me. It's not homework, but it enables them. And in essence, I've moved them closer to the buying decision. And I hope I've positioned myself in such a way that they see me as understanding what their needs are. Okay. Obviously, you can give a gift to friends, clients, prospects. Business cards are a type of content. So make sure that yours is clean. It needs to be original. Like, I don't want to see any of those face painting pictures, the line drawings from Vistaprint. Find something, whether it's creating a logo, a really nice picture that you've done, or even a face painted picture of yourself. But you need to be original when you're going to put your business card out there. A blog. You can do an interview either with the media, or a lot of community cable television stations are looking for business people to be on their channel. And in many cases, that's a free service that they'll provide to the town. Thank you notes. And then lastly, your social media posts. So what you want to do is put stuff out there. You want to use the company name. You want to capitalize on keywords that are the things that people search on. So if you're a face painter, obviously face paint, face painter, face painting, party, maybe children's parties. Okay, those are the type of search words that people are going to look at. They're going to look at face painter near me, or balloon twister near me, or balloon sculptor near me, or magician, or entertainer. The keywords are not rocket science, but you want to include those keywords in your content so that you can dominate the searches, and your content, whether it's an article, a blog post, a page on your website, will come up when one of your party hosts is looking for someone. When you start thinking of all the things that you could post on or write about as an expert, don't get into that negative context where you're going to say, well, what do I have to say that anybody would want to listen to? I told you, you're the expert. So you need to capitalize on that and think about, what are the questions that you always get asked? How'd you get into this business? How many people can you do in an hour? What's the craziest event you've ever been to? How do you keep your stuff clean? All right. So I think of content as kind of the hub of a wheel. All right. And coming out of that hub are all the spokes. And each one of those spokes has to do with a content category. So let's say one is safety and hygiene. So in that, you might talk about insurance. You might talk about antibacterial components of your paint. You might talk about the fact that you use a balloon pump instead of blowing up balloons with your mouth. You might talk about latex allergies. I don't know, but I'm sure there's plenty of things that you can talk about. Another spoke could be themed parties, suggestions for moms or dads who are interested in hosting a theme party. What are the type of theme parties that work and for what age group? You could have a whole nother spoke that's dedicated to age appropriate activities. Okay. Not just what you do, but other stuff out there. Like at what age do kids separate from their parents and all they want to do is talk with their friends? Okay. That would be something that would be good for a mom who has never done a party before to understand. The frequently asked questions. That's an obvious spoke. Another spoke would be artistry and design. Another spoke might be the products that you use, where you get them, what are they made out of, do they come from China? Anything that you think would be helpful to your ideal customer. And then lastly, I have a spoke that talks about training or continuing education or certification or classes and conventions that I've taken. And I like to share that information. People don't even know that, unless you're a face painter, don't even know that there's an international face painting convention held every 2 years. So I think it's part of our responsibility to educate people so that they understand that we're spending a lot more money on our craft than they probably think. The really important thing is, in addition to not being promotional, you want to come from a place of love, a place of free gifting, using a story to tell whatever it is that you want to share. Okay? So you could tell the story of your most embarrassing moment. You could tell the story of your most outrageous event. You could tell the story of the most original party decor. All right? But you can capitalize on all the experiences you've ever had and carve yourself out as an expert in the industry just by using stories. If you're interested in learning more about this topic, don't hesitate to get in touch with me. Here's a couple of resources. One is by Seth Godin, All Marketers Tell Stories. And the other one is part of a series. It's called Marketing a Love Story. And it's by a wonderful woman in Australia by the name of Bernadette Jiwa. Both of these people have blogs if you're interested in following them on a daily or weekly basis. That's it for this week. Stay tuned for next week and have a fabulous weekend. Thanks for watching.